Have you ever met someone who seemed calm, generous, and well-spoken, someone who said all the right things, did all the expected things, but left you feeling strangely unsettled, as if behind the smile something was off, not threatening in an obvious way, not violent or angry, just quietly dangerous? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and mystic of the psyche, believed that the most dangerous people aren't the ones who yell, rage, or betray you outright. The real threat often hides behind politeness, discipline, and even charm, because these people don't raise alarms. They disarm you. And by the time the mask slips, the damage is often already done. In this video, we'll step into Jung's view of the human soul and uncover a warning sign so subtle, most never see it coming. But once you understand it, you may never look at others, or yourself, the same way again. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to Deep Psyche. Here, we explore the inner world through Jungian insight, symbolism, and self-discovery. Now let's begin. Jung believed that each of us wears a mask, what he called the persona. It's the version of ourselves we present to the world, the curated self, the one we polish and parade to be accepted, admired, loved. But behind that mask lives something far more honest, the unconscious. A vast untamed terrain filled with our instincts, our memories, and most importantly, the shadow. The shadow is everything in us we've disowned. The traits we were told were wrong, unacceptable, or too much. Our jealousy, our anger, our hunger for attention, even our vulnerability. We bury these aspects early, in childhood, in a desperate attempt to be good. But what is buried doesn't vanish, it waits. It simmers. And over time it shapes how we see the world, how we react to people, how we treat ourselves without us even knowing. Jung warned that when the shadow is ignored, it becomes dangerous. Not because it is evil, but because it acts in secret. A person who's unaware of their own darkness will project it outward. They'll see enemies where there are none. They'll criticize in others what they cannot accept in themselves, and they'll act out in ways they can't explain. You see, the shadow doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It builds energy. It transforms. And when it's finally strong enough, it bursts through the cracks, sometimes as emotional outbursts, sometimes as subtle sabotage, sometimes as cruelty disguised as kindness. Someone might seem calm and collected, yet feel a constant undercurrent of dissatisfaction or bitterness. They may smile while controlling everyone around them. They may preach kindness, but wound with their words. They don't understand why relationships fall apart, why they're never fully happy, but the root is always the same, a self they have refused to face. But here's where it gets even more dangerous. Jung warned that the most destructive people are not the ones who know they have flaws, but the ones who believe they have none, the people who are convinced they are only good, only moral, only light. Because when someone identifies completely with goodness, they lose the ability to self-reflect. They justify manipulation as protection, control as love, punishment as discipline. They believe they're helping when they're actually harming. And if you try to confront them, they'll deflect, they'll rationalize, because their identity depends on the illusion that they could never be the problem. The more tightly someone clings to their image of being a good person, the more likely it is that their shadow is acting out behind the scenes, disguised as virtue. This is the chilling paradox Jung pointed to. It is not the presence of darkness that makes someone dangerous. It is the refusal to admit that darkness exists within them. People who know their flaws are often safer. They take responsibility. They try to manage their impact. But those who deny their shadow are like ticking psychological time bombs, because anything they can't face in themselves, they'll unconsciously unleash onto others. Jung saw this as more than a psychological issue. He called it a kind of spiritual blindness. So the next time you meet someone who insists they're always kind, always ethical, always right, pause. Not to judge, but to ask, what are they not seeing in themselves? That single question could protect you from manipulation, from confusion, and from the slow erosion of your own intuition. And maybe, more importantly, it could help you look inward and ask, what parts of myself am I still hiding? Because the journey of self-awareness begins not in light but in shadow. If this video stirred something within you, let it be a beginning, not an ending. Leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences. And if you'd like to help us continue exploring these deeper truths of the psyche and soul, don't forget to subscribe to Deep Psyche and share this video with someone who needs it. The deeper we see into others, the more we're called to meet our own reflection.